All right. This is the last one that I have assigned this year. Another year there might be some that I add on, but at the time I'm doing this right now. And we are in lesson 1-5 or 1.5. And my other number, this is number 35 on the other list that I use. And this has, oh my goodness, what are the chances I'm going to get all these right without making a mistake? Not very good. Part 1 of 3. All right, so we're on A. Solve the equation analytically. I think that means we're supposed to try to do analysis to figure it out. So like we could do some things like graphing, but I'm going to tell you, boy, we're going to eventually need the graph, I think, to do this anyway. So it says analytically, I think that means by looking at just this graph over here. Whoops, I didn't write the equations down. I can't see them. So I've got on the left side the F's. Let me use maybe a different color. Yellow is going to be hard for you guys to see. So eventually I'll get you here. F's a value of 2x plus 1. And the other one, we're going to just graph them as like y equals over in Desmos. The absolute value of the x minus 3. Then we'll look for where they intersect. Now, remember again, do you see a y in that equation anywhere? Hopefully you say no. So the y part of the coordinate graph is only to help us find the answers for this of x, where these y's end up being equal. So let's hop on over to Desmos, put those in and see what we get. All right. First equation, y equals, if you haven't watched one of my videos before, absolute value in Desmos is just ABS, and then the expression we need, 2x plus 1. And then the second equation, we're going to, or the right side of the equation, we're going to put in a separate equation with y equals, and the absolute value, you have ABS again, in parentheses, the x minus 3. And I think there's one answer right here, but there's another one up here. So I'm going to click here, hold down, and drag that over. Click where they intersect to find my answers. Hopefully you know the one on the right. This is really 0.6 repeating. This is going to be 0.6 repeating. Put those two coordinates back again. Got the -4 here. We said the 7's not used, just that. And then this one again, this is 0.6 repeating, most likely anyway. I mean, it could be this weird decimal, but I'm thinking. And then hopefully you remember that 0.6 repeating is the same as 2/3, just like 0.3 repeating is 1/3. So with that, let's see if we hop back on over to Savas and see how it likes our answers. Again, read carefully. The solution set is finite, meaning there's just one or two answers. They're points. Their answers are on an interval, means part B, or there is no answer. This little circle with a line through it is called the empty set. So we had two answers, so we're going to put them in here. And it says simplified fractions. So the 2/3, 2/3, arrow to the right to get out of the fraction, separated by comma, so a comma right there, and the -4. I feel pretty good about those. Desmos usually doesn't lie unless I had sausage fingers and can't type the right numbers. All right, so step 1, so far so good. 3 parts and oh boy, we'll see. All right, the second one was asking, if you remember, back up here at the top, where is the f of x greater than the g of x? So remember this 2x plus 1, right back up here. This f of x they're using for that 2x plus 1. And then At least this is how I'm interpreting it. The g of x they're using for this. So this is my 2x plus 1 was the f of x. And this was the g of x. And so now when we're down here on part B, they want f of x greater than this g of x. So the 2x plus 1 graph, where is it greater or above, like the y's, if the y's are greater, if these y's are greater than these y's, that's greater or above because the bigger y's are on a coordinate graph above. So let's see, the 2x plus 1 is the blue or purplish line. Where is it above? So let's see. I would like, what I'd really like is to have like a highlighter. A highlighter. Don't know my tools in Desmos. That's going to make a big circle. I don't really want a big circle. Where do I get a highlighter? Draw text, select those steps. Well, I guess we'll just do it this way. Oh, there's my highlighter. So that section there is above this down here. So from here all the way to going forever to the right, this purple 2x plus 1 is above. And then out here, it becomes above again. And remember, this was at -4. So everything to the left of the -4. So on the outside of those 2 points we put in is where our solutions have the 2x plus 1 greater. So let's go back there. I think we've got this down now. So when we go down here to part B, the solution set is a finite. That means specific numbers. No, it's an interval. That means it's a whole range. And so now we have to, if the type integer simplified, answer in interval notation. So one problem here is it really goes out to infinity. So infinity, not feeling very confident here, you guys. Infinity is, and it's to the left, is negative. I'm doing this peachy color side first that I typed. So a negative infinity, and then interval notation. Oops, I don't know what happened. Get that window off there, comma. And where did that stop? At the -4. Now, the next question is, where they equaled, is that part of what they want here? So remember, we're looking at the problem kind of up in here. Looking at this one right now. And greater, they just wanted greater than, so it's not. So then the endpoint is not included, so that's a parenthesis in interval notation. Whoops, I got that in front of the form. Let's arrow over and get the parenthesis. Now we had a second area where the f of x function was greater as well, though. It used comma to separate our answers, so that must be right here. We have another comma. And then interval notation again. Remember, it was 2/3 on the right side where they intersected, so 2-3, comma. And then it keeps going forever to the right. So I'm going to use this infinity button down here on the bottom. Sometimes if I haven't scrolled down, that's below the screen and I forget that it's down there. So I think I've got that figured out now. And then close it, because infinities are always parentheses. You never can actually equal the infinity. So let's see what it says about that. Not feeling 100%, but we'll see how we did. So it says to solve the inequality, graph it. The solution set is a set of all x values which the graph of f of x is above the graph of g of x. That's what we did. So let's go back and check our work here. We've got the absolute value of 2x plus 1, and they're calling that f of x. And they're wanting to know where that is above the x minus 3. So let's go back to Desmos and look. See what we have here. I got a lot of stuff scribbled on the screen. I'm going to clear this screen so we've got a -4 here. The 2x plus 1 is above, outside of there, so to the left of the -4. 0.667 is 2/3, and it's above to the right. So just looking at this again, the way that's usually written is, let's change to a different color there. It's getting hard to see. They usually say that's -infinity to this point, -4. And then sometimes they use this set notation, which has a u. And then on the right, it was the 2/3 going out to a positive infinity. So just looking at that, let's go back and see what I typed in. I thought that's what I typed in. -infinity to the -4, both parentheses, comma, 2/3 to the positive infinity. Not sure what they want there. Type integers or simplified fractions. We do, and use commas to separate answers as needed. Oh, I've got this typed in the wrong place. I put it in the finite set. There we go. I'm gonna Control X, cut that out of there. It's supposed to, this is an interval we're typing. Man, I couldn't figure out what we did there. Let's check that. Oh no, this says it doesn't like it. It's the solution set is the set of all x values for which graph is above. That's not what we did. It said the integers, type your answers in interval notation. Well, let's try one other thing here. And that is that sometimes in the middle, it wants a u. I thought that's what I was trying to type. Wait, what's different with my answer than their answer? Those two things look exactly the same to me. Well, for goodness sakes. All right, well, we were doing the right thing. I can't see a single, the correct answer here at the top and my answer right below it. Oh, the frustrations of Savas. I don't see anything different at all. Oh, well. Okay, just so you guys know, it happens to me too. So there you go. That's why I always tell you, I will check your work and rarely do you get the same score that Savas gives you when I do it. All right, so now we're to the last one. Now they want the less than. So let's hop back to Desmos. This is a way longer video than it was supposed to be. And so the less than part then is going to be this part where the V down at the bottom is below the other part. So like this part that I'm trying to highlight. But so it's between the -4 and the 2/3. So if the other one was out to the infinities, this one's between the two numbers. So it's the interval between, what were my two numbers? The -4 on the left and the 2/3 on the right. Oops, get that parenthesis out here where it's supposed to be. Okay, there we go. So sorry about that, taking so long. We were doing the right thing, but that's the frustration of Savas sometimes.